A very good evening to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is 1st January, 1st July already, 2025. So half year is gone. So it's a Tuesday class. So we will continue our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra. So in the meantime, as usual, we will gather for physical puja. Come. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨姆多巴嘎瓦，布当巴嘎วันตัง阿毗瓦提米。สุขะโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสารนังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสารนังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรัมมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิอาทินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังดิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัตตานะรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกันนะสารปดิเทนะดิเพนะตมาดังสีนะติโลกาดิปังสัมบุตตังปูจายามิตโมโนดังกันดสัมบารยุตเตนะ Dopena hang sukang hina puja ye puja niyang tang puja bhajana muttamang vanna ganda guno petang etang kusuma santatin pujayami munindasa siri pada sarorohe pujemi bedang kusumena nena punnena mattena cha hotu mokang pupang milayati yata idang me kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang adivase tuno bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tuno bante pale parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang adivase tuno bante bojanang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patigan hatu muttamang. Now we shall chant the puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses of the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami of generosity and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits, born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and affinity to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Bedang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Develop this awareness-based meditation and you will progress well. Awareness-based meditation means we are developing this inner awareness to stabilize our mind so that we can develop the ability to reside within our true mind, or the silent mind, or what we call the meditative mind, which is without thought, is just aware within. That's why awareness-based meditation is to develop the inner awareness, then stabilize it. So, as most of us are already familiar with what this training is, you can just relax body and mind and immediately go in and develop it. Remember the 4 support to develop awareness-based meditation. These 4 support are basically simple support that can help you decondition your heedless thinking so that you don't think. First is to develop the ability to relax both body and mind. When you can relax body and mind, means you are at ease. You don't have problem with your mind and body. Your physical body is entirely relaxed without problem. Then your mind is also without problem, in a state of pure relaxed awareness. So as a human being, we have a physical body and a mind. And because most people are not trained in awareness-based meditation, they tend to have a lot of problem with their thought process and their thinking mind, or the mundane, heedless thinking mind. So this mind that think a lot and create a lot of what we call sankhara, movement or activity, is actually a hindrance to developing the pure mind, the tranquil and still mind without thought. And they arise because of ignorant avijja that condition your mind to react, stir, and develop all those unnecessary thought activity. So ability to relax means no need to think. Just relax. Whatever mind state arise, relax into it. Any tension, any stress within, any tightness, you just feel it and relax into it, so that all of this tension and thought activity develop the slowing down, the relaxation to cease. Let it slow down and return to its original state before the stirring, before the reaction of mind, before the arising of thought and emotions. Just relax. Maintain a silent mind, a peaceful mind, a tranquil and still mind. Then, after relaxation, you must maintain awareness. Maintaining awareness is to keep yourself aware. That's it. Whatever arises, aware. Finish. Don't try to know, don't try to do, don't try to create any more thought activity. Just aware. Finish. Aware, silent. No need to think, no need to continue with the proliferation of thought process. Then after that, continue to be in the state of tranquility and stillness. Whatever arises, acknowledge it through awareness, aware, finish. Over time, through constant cultivation of this awareness-based meditation, the inner awareness will stabilize. Then you will come to a stage where you realize there is hardly any thought process, or completely without thought. When you can realize that state is very good, it's the beginning of progress, the realization of the true pure awareness nature within the true mind, the pure mind without thought. Thought will arise when there is avijja, when there is mental hindrance. So this mental hindrance, they hinder your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness. The Buddha described them as sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, doubt, and restlessness of mind. And they arise because you lack the stability of the 5 opposite spiritual faculties. This spiritual faculty are mind state that can help you understand spiritual teaching. That's why it's called spiritual faculty. So all this, when you develop the understanding of the teaching, you can understand what is going on. Then when you continue to maintain awareness without thought, until the thought ceases, until the inner awareness stabilizes, then you will realize the true mind, the silent mind, the pure awareness nature. Then you can find out within that state, without thought, who are you? And what is this so-called thought, or thinking, or mundane movement of the thinking mind? Or we call it the activity of sankhara activity. Sankhara sanya create a lot of movement. Sanya is to perceive. The moment you perceive, you give meaning, you react, you stir, you create. And this is what happens. That's why awareness-based meditation can let you develop the understanding of who you are, what you are, and how you function as a human being. How your mundane mind stir and react to sense experience and created the emotion and movement. And these emotions are negative. Most of the time, negative mind state that arise through your wrong thought, wrong view, wrong understanding. They are dependent originating, condition arising. Emotion like fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, and even fear, worry, anxiety. All these are negative psychological emotions, which are very negative in its field of energy, which are detrimental to human health. It can cause your immune system to go down. These are negative mind states that can bring about what we call mutation of your cells and lead to immunity decline. And when that happens, you succumb to disease. Certain type of disease can be very traumatic, especially cancer, even HIV and all those things. All these are stress-related negative emotion, born of fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation, delusion, attachment. So silent inner awareness is to enable the cultivator to observe all this and develop the understanding. then you understand the teaching very clearly, the essential Dhamma, especially the Four Noble Truths, the 12 links, or the Paticca Yeah. And through the understanding, you develop the awakening, the wisdom. Then you start to understand clearly why the Buddha say the 5 aggregates of form and mind are impermanent, and because of that, it will lead to suffering. Then because of that, it is anatta, empty. Not what you think you are. It's not a permanent, unchanging entity. Then you start to see the unreality of form, unreality of the mundane mind, the thinking mind, where they are all dependent, originating, condition arising, phenomena and entity. They have no real nature of themselves. It's not something that continuously exists, unchanging, because we live in a conditioned world, where everything arises and passes away following causes and conditions. And all these causes and conditions, they are governed by the 5 Pancha Niyamas, the 5 universal order of nature that governs life and existence. So without the pure awareness within, you cannot understand all this. That's why pure awareness, nature, is needed to cultivate the wisdom needed to break free from all this sakkaya-ditthi, self-delusion and ignorance. Okay, now I will let you meditate on your own. I will set the alarm for 30 minutes so that you all can continue to train. And for those who have trained, you can move on to the 4th support, which is trust. TRUST, trust your nature within to develop the meditative movement within your nature. Just silence everything. Stay at the heart area and let the awareness pick up whatever that arises and let it move on its own. It is already intelligent, wise. That's why it will know what to do. But when you interfere with the thought process, then it becomes egoic. Because before one becomes enlightened, one's thought is always wrong thought most of the time. Because of the sakkaya-ditthi that condition the 3 evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, that condition the egoic mind to manifest. Okay, now I let you meditate on your own. Okay, you all can now slowly, mindfully come out from the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states that can help you stabilize your daily mindfulness and to use it to really live life. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajayasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Sabadan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Piso Gawa Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anuttaro Risadhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusana Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanayiko Pajatang Vedita Vinohiti Supatipano Bhagavata Kasango Ujupatipano Gavato Sao Kasango Satipano Bhagavato Kasango Samichi Patipano Bhagavato Sao Kasango Yadidang Chatari Sayokani Esa Bhagavato Sao Kasango Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Terang punyang ketang loka sati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Now we'll continue from where we stopped. When the four elements that the body was originally composed of dispersed, they were each returned whence they came. So this four element is how the Buddha actually simplified the composition of all elements, because this is taught during the Buddha's time, where all these are not so scientifically developed, because at that time our civilization 2,600 over years ago was not so advanced. So, for simplicity and easy comprehension, he break it down into the four elements, which are more conducive for developing the understanding at that time. So this four element is basically earth element that represents solid thing, solidity. That's why they call earth element. And in Pali, the Buddha called it Patavi. Then after Patavi is Tejo. Tejo is heat element. So heat element is basically whatever that has heat, like our bodily temperature, like our external weather temperature and all those things. Then whatever thing that has activity creating friction will give rise to heat too, or heat generation. In fact, a lot of chemical reactions, they give rise to heat elements too. So everything that is related to heat is qualified as Tejo. Then the third element is Vayu. Vayu is wind element. Everything that moves, like our flow of blood, breath, everything that has all this activity of movement. So they call it the wind element. That's why our bodily activity, because of the wind element, it can maintain the posture for us to be in that straight posture or whatever posture when we are in the standing posture, then when we walk. All this need wind element, and for our breathing, our life, maintenance of our life force, we need the wind element. And because of the life force, it triggers the heartbeat that sends the pulse of life to all our organs to nourish our whole physical body and activity. That's why we have the element of Vayu, which is wind element. Then finally is Apo. Apo is water element. Water element denotes all the fluid part, and it also denotes the cohesion, the buoyancy, and all this. So the four elements are the interplay of activity that manifests through nature. So because of the four elements, it manifests the activity and movement to animate that physical body to become alive. So here when he say the four elements, that the body was originally composed of dispersed, means the one that bind them together, that give rise to the condition arising activity that animate them into a life form or living being, is already no more. They have already dispersed. Like a human being, for example. The three supporting conditions are the physical body in a functional position. Then there is a consciousness trap inside. Then there is a life force that pumps the blood and sustains the movement. Then of course we also have the breathing, the prajna, everything. Then this one maintains the activity and animate this form and mind into a living entity. When the conditions is to be, means any of the three, let's say the life force no more, the heartbeat cannot pump, the so-called Vayu, that energy that actually drives the movement of the blood to nourish all the organ, that one also ceases to be. That's why the first thing that goes is always the wind element, Vayu. Your breath, no more breathing. The heartbeat, no more. So Vayu is gone. When Vayu is gone, it cannot generate the heat that the bodily temperature need for proper life form activity. So because of that, the second element that will disappear is the heat element. That's why dead body very fast they become like chill, cold. And when the heat element is gone, the other two elements, which is water and earth element, they also start to degenerate. Normally it's the liquid part that oozes out first. When the earth element degenerate, if there is an injury or what, the blood will flow. Then all the whatever balance through the nature's, what they call elements, or weather condition or nature's condition, they will slowly deteriorate. Sometimes the flesh may be eaten by the vultures, and the process of dispersal will take place. That's how it happened. Yeah. And now I read on, we see what the commentary has to say. He said the wind element will return to the wind, and this is the first element to disappear. Then the earth element will return to earth. Water element will go back to that water elements. And likewise, heat element or fire element, they call it, will return to the heat element. So the body returns to emptiness, just as you contemplate one person in this way. Just as you contemplate one person in this way, you can do likewise for 10% or even billion of people. Whether you are attracted to men or women, if you understand and can practice this contemplation of impurities, you will no longer give rise to desire or lust. So the absence of lust and desire is liberation. So this is the explanation by Hsuan. What actually happened is, earlier on we talked about the 9 stages of cemetery decomposition. That means when the physical body is devoid of consciousness, means not supported anymore. When consciousness separates, the condition that maintains the arising of the physical form and mind and animate into a living being is gone. Then you see clearly the life force no more, that life composition that manifests the growth and the decay, everything also cease to be. And when all those cease to be, it will lead to the ending, or what we call the stages of cemetery decomposition following nature's law. That's why in the 5 daily contemplation, the first 3, the Buddha say, this body of ours is of the nature to grow old, get sick and die, because it is not a permanent unchanging entity. It makes up of the 4 elements, no knowing. How can it be you? And it goes the way of nature, following nature's law. They come and they go, they form, they disperse. So when that happens, you see the stages of decomposition. Then you see how filthy it is, how foul it is, and how everything returns to like its various form of elements until finally empty. Even the bone also become dust. Then the wind blow and all the 4 elements disperse. So when that happens, then you realize the so-called beautiful form is not what you think. It's all generated by the thought process, through mind state, through memories, through attachment, clinging, grasping. And the craving or the so-called desire for the beautiful form is at that time, it's just like a flower. When it starts to blossom, it is most beautiful when it's fully blossomed. But after it has fully blossomed, what will happen? It will start to decay. Then, that time, the flower loses its ability to blossom. That's why the very flowering of that thought is the very ending of that thought. After it has finished flowering, it got no more generative power to flower anymore, because you have already cut off the life force behind. Sometimes even the flower is still within the plant. If you don't harvest it, you don't go and sell, or like what we do, we buy, we make offerings to the Super Gem. It will also decay over time. Then whatever you offer on the altar, those who look after the arrangement of flowers around the altar, they will know. Every day, fresh, beautiful flower offered. Over time, sometimes 1 day, 2 days, it starts to decay. Then they develop the foul smell, everything. So this is the way of nature. Nature's process that create all this. So if we look at all phenomena, external form, they are dependent, originating, condition, arising. It's not a permanent, unchanging entity. You cannot grasp at it, cling onto it, hold onto it, and say, this is me, this is I. And knowing that these are all dependent, originating phenomena, condition, arising form, or phenomena, then we know whatever arises, like the Buddha said, there are causes and conditions behind. So even in our world of existence, life, society, or what, a lot of things, although beautiful, wonderful, you like, you cherish, you want to own, but you cannot own them. All this, they have their causes and conditions behind. You cannot simply say this is what you want unless it's allowable by nature. So understanding this is very important. Like the beautiful nature, the beautiful house and all those things, you can appreciate through your senses, through your perception, through your mind state. But to attach, cling and want to own can lead to problem, because it doesn't last. That's why whatever that is pleasurable is a prelude to suffering. No matter how beautiful, it will come to pass, it will decay, it will go the way of nature. Life is like that. Not only we grow old, our parents, our forefathers also grow old, and finally our children, whatever that is born, whatever is of the nature to arise is of the nature to pass. What has been born has already ceased to be. That's why everything is a process of what they call life activity, the evolution of birth and death, the rise and fall of civilization, of phenomena. Everything within nature exhibited where we live in a conditioned world. So that 9 stages of contemplation is just for people with that type of lustful character to see. And some, they even use the analogy of what they call skeleton contemplation. They say every form you see, no matter how beautiful you look within, is actually skeleton. And the skull, when you look at the skull, is no longer with the icy eye that you put, or the makeup and all those things. So when you see things there, when you penetrate, they are only element, condition arising. That's why when there is condition to perceive them, to observe them, see, by all means, like good food, you can have it if it's within your means. Help to taste it, to eat it, and have it. But don't indulge, don't overeat. Don't attach, don't cling, don't be deceived by it. But this is a conditioned world, not what you think. So this aspect is more important than just looking at the impurity, or what they call the stages of decomposition. What actually the Buddha intends is for you to know. No matter how beautiful that form is, how attractive that form is, when it's devoid of consciousness, it goes the way of nature. Everything ends up like that. Yeah. So when you look at it, then you realize all this is not what you think. These are just phenomena that manifest its causes and conditions at that time. When conditions cease to be, it ceases to be. There's no reality. Hey, no you, hey, no me. Everything has these universal characteristics of impermanent, suffering state and non-self, or empty nature. So when you penetrate the universal characteristic, then you penetrate life, you understand life, and you can live life, which is beautiful, wonderful. But without that wisdom behind, the conditioned Dhamma wisdom and the unconditioned Dhamma wisdom, you cannot live life. You can't even understand life, not to say you want to live life. That's why our Dhamma, as taught by the Buddha, is very wonderful, very unique, and very beautiful. So this is the uniqueness of the Buddhist teaching. You go back to the notes. Now I can move on faster. I only need to explain that. Okay. Having attained the liberation, you further gain liberation by realizing the perfectly abiding in the pure liberated body, because you have broken through your attachment to the physical form and can let go of them. You realize the pure liberated body means perfectly abiding, signifies liberation. The abiding in the pure essential substance, you then become liberated by realizing the four abbots of emptiness. Infinite space, infinite consciousness, the rhyme of nothingness whatsoever, and the rhyme of neither perception or non-perception. Then the next step is to cultivate the samadhi of cessation of sense perception and cognition. At that point, your consciousness is poised to cease to exist. Okay, Sui, you bring down back a bit. Okay. You see here the description, they are trying to follow the Theravada's teaching. There is one sutta that talk about these 9 stages of cultivation. Actually, it's more towards the Hindu type of teaching. These are all the 8 jhanas. Then in the sutta it was mentioned, to gain real liberation, you must go beyond the 8 jhana and realize the cessation of form and mind, which is the realization of Nibbana. But the description there is not properly explained and not clear to most people. So because of that, even the translation here on the commentary that宣化has written is also not so accurate. I read to you again the paragraph that we just go through. He said, having attained that liberation, he used the word liberation, you further gain liberation by realizing and perfectly abiding in the pure liberated body. Then what is this pure liberated body? He said, because you have broken through your attachment to physical form, which is the form rhyme. The first four form jhana, and you can let go of them. Then you realize the pure liberated body, perfectly abiding, signifying liberation. Again, the word liberation means abiding in the pure, essential substance. You then become liberated by realizing the four abode of emptiness, means the four formless rhyme. The formless rhyme of infinite space, the formless rhyme of infinite consciousness, the formless rhyme of nothingness, and the formless rhyme of neither perception or non-perception. These four states actually are still within the 31 plane. They are still within samsara. They are called the formless mind. Formless. The three essential rhyme, form rhyme and the formless rhyme. So this is termed the last, the highest of the formless rhyme. But there are still rebirth for this rhyme. Over a long period of time, even you exist within the formless rhyme. That's how Alara and Uddaka, the two teachers of the Buddha, they aspire to take birth there, thinking that that is the ultimate, that is eternal liberation. But no, the formless rhyme is also within samsara. And there are many sutras within the Theravada tradition that explain how all this, at the very high formless rhyme, they slowly fall until the form rhyme. Then from the form rhyme down to the sensual rhyme. In fact, there was one sutta that talked about the Brahma king, I think. Maha Brahma. I think, if I am not mistaken, is the form rhyme, the third rhyme. So when this King Brahma or Maha Brahma, because he has this wrong view or delusion, he believes he is the creator of the world. That's why in the Hindu teaching they worship this Brahma, Maha Brahma or King Brahma. It was mentioned that he created all this. Then in the sutta, if I'm not wrong, it's mentioned he met Sakyamuni Buddha. And Sakyamuni Buddha told him, if you are not careful, you will fall, he said. From this line, you will go down to the sensual line. And finally, from the sensual line, you will reach hell, or they call it the Avijji hell. Sadhu, Avijji hell, yeah. Because we have the four willful states, the demon rhyme, the animal rhyme, Pitta rhyme, and then the last one, that one, Avijji hell. So, after hearing what the Buddha told him, then he realized. He said, you earlier on, before you become the Maha Brahma, you were higher up, he said. And from there you go down. That's why all this explained. But within a lot of tradition, especially the Hindu teaching, they do a lot of jhana in the early days. And they like all this. And they believe, based on their tradition and all those things, that these are the, what they call gods. Yeah. That's why they call their gods Devas, Brahmins, and all these things. So what is important is you must know the real liberation is not all this within the 31 plane of existence. And then we go back to the knots. See? Yeah. So finally in that sutta is mentioned, after the four formless rhyme, he said, the next step is to cultivate samadhi or cessation of form in mind. So this one, you have to be careful. Samadhi or cessation of sense perception and cognition means the five aggregates of form and mind. Actually, it's not samadhi in its actual sense. But they use the word samadhi. It's actually a cessation of form and mind. That's it. There is no samadhi. That cessation of form and mind is the realization of nibbana. And this can only arise when the wisdom has been developed, when the awakening, the realization has been developed. And when you have developed it, initially, if it's not stable and not penetrative, the cessation of form and mind cannot arise. Because this cessation of form and mind is very, I won't call it funny. It's very strange. It's not easy to develop it on, even if you have insight and all those things. Because the slightest clinging or grasping or holding, that cessation can never happen. You have to completely develop the wisdom and the understanding to understand that the phenomenal world, the conditioned world is not there. That's why I remember in 1989, after I had all those realizations, then I suddenly developed the complete understanding. I can see the illusionary thing, the unreality of everything. Then my mind starts to develop this understanding. Because the sankhara becomes so sensitive. The very fine suffering I start to see. Every moment of perception is suffering. Every moment of arising of thought is suffering. Every moment of mind activity is suffering. That's why at that time, like, the whole brain becomes very sensitive. It cannot move. The moment it moves, suffering is there. Even to be conscious, that is suffering, and it's so fine. Then finally the mind developed the understanding from the nature. He said, everything is not what you think. Because like peeling the banana stem, the third analogy of the aggregate of sankhara, ultimately layer after layer you peel. At the core of it, what do you realize? Empty, nothing, and that's enough. Then I realized, think also like that, don't think also like that. Because it's just a phenomenal, conditional, no reality. Then I just relaxed, silent. Oh, then suddenly the cessation came. Yeah. Of course, initially, when I had the first glimpse, you no need to have that type of realization and stability. The first glimpse, to go through the sainthood way, you no need all this stability of understanding. It can just manifest that glimpse of cessation of form and mind. But after that glimpse, to break free, to realize arahantaship and beyond, you really have to go into the cessation for a longer period. Then later on, I remember, after I detected the gateway, then when I was able to develop the transformation inside, then I realized that cessation keep on happening. Whenever I lie down, I meditate, then it happened. And it was just for that period, for me to develop the understanding. Then after that, I realized you cannot decide the time, and you also cannot decide when to come out. Everything is already conditioned, manifested already on for it to arise. Because you need to have that type of requisite wisdom, understanding and cultivation, that your happen. So that part, very few people can have the understanding to share with you and to teach you. Okay, so now we try to move on and finish off that section. Okay. So Shenhua, of course, all the translation I think not accurate. They follow whatever that they can find from the text or what. Then he said, at that point, your consciousness is poised to cease to exist. It's not cease to exist. It's the mundane mind realizes itself and cease. Then when the five aggregate of form and mind cease, means what? Means the pure awareness nature which is supposed to be there, understand or not? Where that thing is the first thing to arise. But that thing has to cease, understand or not? So the five aggregate of form and mind cease. When it ceases, the real realization of Nibbana also need the pure awareness nature to cease. Otherwise you cannot realize Nibbana. Otherwise you are at the pure awareness state, the true mind. Yeah. And the reason why since you cannot understand that last part is because he thought the mundane mind is the true mind. He has not realized the true mind. And because he has not realized the true mind, he cannot penetrate the phenomenal world, the conditioned world. All of the essential Dhamma that is needed for the mind to cease. That's why that cessation of form and mind, the deluded mind through delusion manifested all those thinking and manifestation of consciousness and its content, leading to birth and death, samsara. But the moment that is being realized, that cessation of form and mind will arise. Initially it's a glimpse. But later on when you stabilize all this understanding, it will go in, then it ceases, then the pure awareness nature also ceases. And that time when it go in and completely cease, how long it depends. It is not for that form and mind to decide. Nature decide. But when it come out, it's the most beautiful. It's like you witness the beginning of creation. How that, what they call that pure nature, we call it the original nature or the true nature, or we call it the oneness nature, all the names. Even some call it by various names. But that is the source. The other name they call is the source. So from there, all things arise. So the first to come out is the pure awareness nature. You witness it, that thing come out. Then the pure awareness nature, when it come out, then it's at the heart area. Then I remember it's split into three areas of consciousness. One automatically go to the brain. Then the brain, like a dynamo, starts to move again. Initially, the whole brain is like without activity. Can you imagine a state of your brain without activity when you are conscious? The scientists can detect all those, the vibration and everything. Yeah. But when you are in the state of Nibbana, or not a state, when you realize the cessation of form and mind, consciousness all cease. Nothing. But you will not die. No heartbeat, nothing. The brain activity all like cease, completely cease. Like nothing inside there. Nothing. But once that consciousness go in, it's like a dynamo, zoom, starts to move again. Then like the dynamo is activity and more. Then the brain starts to operate again. Yeah. Then your senses start to operate again. Then you start to see how the sense data come in slowly. You can see it. You know it is coming already. There is developing the movement already. That's why after the cessation that happened to me in Cameron Highland, 1989, when I came out of it, then I was going down. I hardly talked at all, completely silent. Then I was in the bus for almost 8 to 10 hours now. I was in that state. Then I saw the sense data. I was sitting in front. I so happened to sit in front the bus. Then the sense data all come in. Then I saw the paticca samuppada, how the mind developed that movement. Then I realized, how come when I'm in that state, when I come out, I can see all this and understand all this. But as a human being, before I went through this, I cannot see. Well, it happens so fast, and we are not with that nature. That's why we cannot see. Then one is at the heart area. The heart area is responsible for your heart activity, the life force, everything. Then the coming back of the life force also simultaneously will come back. Then it will do the work that it's supposed to do. Then before it actually started all the whole movement, it's like when you start an engine, it will not immediately start on. When you on the power supply, the heartbeat, the life will come back. Then it starts that movement. That movement. Then only it starts to develop the faster and faster until it develops the whole movement. It's just like your car. When you start, you crank it. Then after that, you pump the petrol. And nowadays, no need petrol engine. And the engine very quiet. But you can still feel before you start it and after you start it. The two are different. Before you start, there is no activity at all. The whole car like that. The oil, the lubricant, all no movement. But the moment you start it, all the engine starts to move. Then even the EV car also same. All the so-called electric component, they call it it's not engine anymore that need fuel, petrol. It is electric motor. Understand? Electric motor. They start to have its activity and movement. So when that consciousness come back and split into three, then with the dynamo, with the life force, it starts to trigger off, like you start the engine. It starts to trigger off that thing. But before it really become fully, become the engine in total motion and movement and activity, you can see the beginning of it and all those things. And everything is like slow motion for you to understand. Then you understand the dwelling very clearly. This is Samuppada. That's why I say when you have the pure awareness with you, you can be at the moment of contact. Then at the moment of consciousness. Then after that, at the moment of how you perceive, the perception. Then at the moment of even sankhara activity, you try to develop the thought process, the thinking. Then the movement, how you retrieve from memory, all those things. Then you can also be with the moment of sensation, feeling, and all those things. And because you have the wisdom, all this aggregate that manifests is non-grasping. And because it's non-grasping, it can stop there. You will not be conditioned into craving. There's a feeling will remain as pure feeling. Unless you release it, it will not move. I still remember at that time, you can be at the moment of all this. It's like that moment, no sound of course. You aware, it's there. So this is actually what is happening. Then the other consciousness go to the Dantian area there. and activate that chakra and develop all the other movement, then it animates you back into a human being. Then I remember I start to become normal again. I start to become a normal human being again. Then I went back to life. Of course, after that realization and experience, even after I came back from that retreat, the Cameron Highland one, I remember for a few days I was still in that state. But my consciousness have all come back to me. Then during that 2 or 3 years, the cessation keep on happening. Whenever I lie down, it just come. Even when I went to New Zealand to visit my last guide, I was in his house, I remember. He was lying down on a couch. I lie down behind him. Then I went into that cessation of form and mind. And he realized, he know that something happened, but he doesn't know what happened to me. He came out from his meditation. He arose from his seat and he looked down at me, and I was fully aware, conscious. Then I also came out. Then I stand up. Then you know what he asked me, He was amazed. He said, what happened? What happened? What happened? He kept on asking me, what happened? So that time I explained to him, he was listening attentively. I said, I went through that cessation, but he is not a Buddhist. That's why he cannot understand. I say, everything ceased. But after I come out, I say, I understand everything. Whatever, all these are not real. All I explained to him. That's why finally he talked to me. He said, in this world, he said, the two of us enough already, he said, to live life. I don't need other people, he said. That's why he liked to talk to me at that time. And before he know that I will leave him, he actually made an appointment to see me with another KL Kanyamita. And he arranged his bungalow in Ampang, a very big bungalow, very nice nature. And we met for almost 3 to 4 hours, just talk one to one. And he held my hand. So that was how all this become possible. Okay, we go back to the notes. So I have explained to you the cessation of form and mind. Above this one, we have finished. Okay, there's a new part right there. Okay, I think we end here. We stop here. Second session is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question.
Amitabha Bratio, Mrs.
Amitabha, yes.
Okay, Amitabha.
Yeah.
Bratio, I just want to say a bit more of my last sharing first.
Can. Yeah, you continue first.
So I was talking about the class that I went to, right, Bratio? So on the first day because of my hello?
Yes, can hear you very clear. Yeah.
On the first day when I had the class, right? So as I learned, I have to think and also have to perceive and think, right?
Yeah.
So suffering, right?
Actually,
I'm
you can feel the fine suffering. Yeah.
Fine suffering. So I suppose to continue another class,
Yeah.
on Monday and Tuesday, So I had Thursday, Friday class, and I had another class Monday and Tuesday. Because of this suffering that I had, I felt that cannot. It's like very difficult to continue to learn and study, right?
Correct. But only this period, this phase, you don't worry. Yeah, after that, this will come to pass. Then you will transform again, and you become different again. Then you start to understand, because this is the process of unfolding of transformation and progress. That's why it's part of the way is for you to develop the understanding. That's why during the early day when I went through all this, there is no more teacher or guide to guide me. That's why I learned all this myself. I developed the understanding myself. Well, as I move, I realized there are a lot of things that hardly anybody has done before. You cannot find in books or even any written scripture or literature. Cannot. It's so different. That's why all this, for cultivator of the way who really develop the pure awareness, nature's cultivation, you will go through the transformation that is rarely realized or developed by people. Of course, there are cultivators who have gone through because of the long period of cultivation, so many Samasa Buddha and great beings. But for them to exist within the existential world, when we are born with the sasana or thing, to encounter this being are very rare. Not that many. There are, but not that many. So for your case, it's good because this is the initial stage you will go through. So what I want to let you understand and all the rest that later on understand is, you don't worry about all this happening. It's only within that period and that phase. Then after that, you come to pass. Then you become normal again, and you will continue to evolve. And all this, you continue. Sorry, Poh Cheng.
Yes,
Yes.
I understand. I understand what you told me on Sunday. Yes, exactly like what you. The thing is, because at that time when I had this problem, right, I do not know how long it will last. You see.
Correct. Because you just now also mentioned you find it very difficult for you to learn things and all that. That's why I want to qualify and explain that so that other people will not panic. Otherwise they say, oh, this style of meditation, I don't want to learn. No. Learn already, the mind become like that one jam block and cannot do anything.
No.
So that is just to clarify so that people understand. But that is a phase you will go through. You will go through. Because the brain there will transform. Then when the brain transforms, the consciousness will actually become more and more refined until finally the vibration becomes so fine, the mundane mind cannot sustain itself and exist there. Then there is a process, I remember, at the forehead. It takes a few months. Then finally, it's like can move on now. Until finally, almost here, I remember, at the eyebrow level. Then suddenly, like a layer of consciousness drop out. Of course, no sound, like gone. Then I realized the one written by Ajahn Buddhadasa is a very good analogy, He said, like a wheel of ignorance, You know what is a wheel, V-E-I-L, wheel of ignorance. That wheel is like a translucent thing that actually cloud your mind. That ignorance just like drop out. I believe he must have the same realization. Otherwise, he cannot give that type of analogy. I asked his disciple cannot understand. His disciple said, no, he said, Ajahn Buddhadasa didn't say anything about that. He just gave the analogy, like the wheel of ignorance drop off. Really, after that, it become like you become transformed. You become totally different. Then that time I remember, my nature shine forth. Then I was amazed for 4 or 5 days. On the first day I remember, I was sitting somewhere in my house dining. Then I was contemplating, reflecting. I said, what is happening? Then I talked to my wife, how come like that? And for 4 or 5 days I was in that state. Like I got no mind at all. And everything is so fine, And the mundane mind totally gone, collapsed. And the nature shine forth. And I was throughout the day, every moment, every instant, aware. Just like that. Then the universal characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta, in every phenomenon, every moment, every instant, it was there. You see it very clearly. That's why I came out with a statement. Truth is everywhere in the midst of life and nature. Why can't you see? For those who see, they always see, all the time, that characteristic. That's why it cannot disappear from your nature's understanding. But it's so clear. The phenomenal world is like that one. Conditional world, no reality one. So all this, when it happens, is very beautiful, very meaningful, but very difficult for people to understand. And most people who don't have the past, you need a good guide and a teacher to advise you and to lead you. Otherwise, you need to have a very good past that you have developed before. Like my nature, I was lucky because of my past. I can understand all this. And this was not written anywhere, no. Nobody taught before, no. And none of this are like something that I can consult or look up onto to confirm and check. That's why after, I think, 1989, after what went through, then my nature tell me, whatever that arises is part of the way. Forget about trying to find out and confirm or no point, because the Dhamma is pacetang, can only be realized by the wise each for himself. And that nature that go through that transformation understanding is very clear one. No doubt, nothing one. It's just the way it is. That's why a lot of these things not commonly taught or shared. But my nature, they had to share with you. That's why I used to tell Kayamita in the early day, whatever I don't know, I tell you I don't know. But whatever I dare to explain to you and share with you, and if I don't qualify it, means my nature has gone through. It has to understand. So all this is why the teaching is so unique, so wonderful, so beautiful, especially the Bodhisattva way. And this is the teaching that is very rewarding. I got one teacher that said, yeah, very long, but very rewarding. It is really worth it and really rewarding. We are at the end of the day, when you go through this cultivation and this understanding and transformation, it is so extensive, and it's so beautiful, so unique, and so completely, amazingly beautiful. You cannot describe it because that thing that manifests, so far there is no real recorded teaching of all this. You have to go through that cultivation. You have to go through that stages of progress, transformation and development. That's why until finally the complete realization of the perfection of the 10th perfection, leading to Sama Sambuddhahood, means the all-knowing. That nature can manifest, the Sama Sambuddha nature. And that nature, so far, thus far, is the most perfect and complete understanding at this moment of existential civilization understanding. So because of that, what you are going through is the beginning, Poh Cheng, and you don't worry, it is still a long way to go, and all this will come to pass, and you will evolve, and you become more and more beautiful, more and more beautiful. Not physically, of course. It's the heart, the understanding there. But when you go through all these stages, your bodily vibration and energy also transform, no? I remember your skin complexion or my wife used to tell me when I hold my hand, he said, your hand is so smooth, so fine. Where she is a housewife. I say, really, man? But really, the vibration is different one. And there's a layer of don't know what I cannot tell you. That day, one of the Kayamita who reported, Manyan, her one is only that moment, no, when he decide to rest, completely shut off, then that thing manifests. But this one, when you cultivate until the Monday, throughout the day, your nature there move. That type of that I don't know what it's like, but it's not oily one, no. You can feel it. It's like very soothing one, no. Very soothing one, no. And you know, no, that one is the internal vibration and the wisdom energy that actually generate you know. Because during that time I remember it made me feel radiant, good and all those things. And whenever my nature share, when it's from the heart, you can see my nature's energy become different. Then that vibration that manifests from it, especially in the Dhamma Sharing session, even my house Thursday class, or even Cameron Highland, or when I deliver my talk and all those things, it will happen. And the nature is like that. That's the beauty of that type of cultivation that leads to all this, that normal teaching cannot really penetrate or even develop the understanding of it, because they have not gone through. How can they understand? No way. So Poh Cheng, back to you now.
Thank you, Brother Teo.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask Brother Teo is the advice about this this class, because you see, Brother Teo, I actually had 2 classes back to back. You see, so I attended 2 days the first class. Because of first day I had this problem when I perceived everything
Okay.
very subtle suffering. So actually, on the first day, I told the institute I cancelled the second class because I don't know how long I had this problem. So
Yeah. It's okay. You want to cancel, you can. Then you
but
can.
I have to reschedule it, brother. I have to reschedule it.
No problem. You reschedule it to another day also okay. This is a phase you will go through one. Then for your case is different again, because some people, they go through all this, they take longer time for all this to come to pass. But for me, very likely, because of my past, the nature, I went through quite fast. Although I say fast, it's also a few months. Understand? A few months before I return to normal again, normalcy again. It's like the third phase of seeing. 看山是山 mundane seeing. Then you penetrate the Dhamma. 看山不是山 the supramundane seeing. But the third one is suchness seeing. You go back to normal again. Then you can accord and flow with the mundane seeing and the supramundane seeing. It will not affect you already. You go back to normal. You become normal again. That's why they call it suchness seeing. Seeing things as they are. But when you have the supramundane seeing, you still believe it's different. But your wisdom is already there. But you have not evolved until you can become normal again. When you evolve until you become normal again, that is the time when your supramundane Dhamma understanding and your mundane condition Dhamma understanding, both are already there, and you can make use of both simultaneously at the same time to understand life and existence. And then you can become normal again. Then you will have the ability to go back to life. And you can live life like a normal human being again. Although your Monday mind collapse, everything transform, then you learn how to use it over a period of time. Then as you learn how to use, you transform also inside. That's why after 30 over years, in total I think 35 plus years, I think almost 36 years already, we're 89. Yeah. And it was early 89. Then now it's 2025, 36 years. But the bulk of it happened, I think, within the first 1 year. Then after that, the transformation, all those things, I think it was about 10 years before I become normal again. Normal again is I like before, no different. I can joke, I can do whatever. Then I'm back to normal. Now I can read book. Now I can, whatever I want to study, I want to do, I can. But the mind, because of the understanding, is differently. Now like, I hardly read Dhamma book actually. Hardly. Unless there is condition for that book to come. I actually stopped reading very long ago. And off and on, of course, I will try to look at those books that are useful. Then when I read them, now it's different again. No? You read, you realize that was the level where it can help me at that time. But now I read, no point really. It doesn't manifest that type of what they call efficacy to actually impact upon me. No more really. It's like like all normal. But in the early day, I remember when I see them, it's like, hey, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Yeah, I was going through those phases, and so then I like breeze through, I skim through. Then when I read, I understand. I read, understand. Then I become the. Then as this thing happen, more and more transformation happen inside, and more things happen to my nature. That's why this nature continue to grow. This segment of the life, my nature actually progress a lot. Where I get to teach, share, and develop a lot of understanding that you have to have all these conditions for it to manifest. Then also because of the message from Kuan Yin Maitreya, then after that message came, a lot of things unfold together with the website, everything, the teaching, everything. Then a lot of Kayamita seems to have the ability to develop the progress and the understanding. And because of that, I can share more and more. And all these are like meant to be, because Maitreya wanted me to transmit this Zhenfa or true Dhamma to the world. And because of that, because of our internet capability, everything, this will be stored, recorded. And in the future, even after this form of mind no more, a lot of people will benefit from it. And when they listen to all this, if they have developed the cultivation, they will be full of attention and joy, and they know this one is very rare, difficult to come by. So all this can manifest. It's just like in the early day when I heard Krishnamurti's teaching. I know it's very unique, very beautiful. Because he has that wisdom and understanding to share in his own words. He don't use like teaching like that. He don't like to he don't like to impose authority on people. And he just share with you what he understands. He always say, we investigate together. Don't have to listen to me, he said. Because authority by, he always use this. And he believed not to condition people more and influence your thinking and your ability to develop that pure awareness nature's investigative, creative nature, to learn yourself. That's why he say, no teacher, no guru, nothing. You must be alone, he say. Because truth is a pathless land. You know what is a pathless land? You cannot follow a teacher, a guru, a path to realize it. Like the Buddha say, is pacetang, to be realized by the wise, each for themselves. The wise one means the one that have that awareness to insight into phenomena, to awaken and to develop the penetrative understanding through the silent mind that observe all this movement. You can have this ability, you are the wise one. And you will continuously progress and transform. But of course, you need to locate the gateway to your nature to move this direction, otherwise cannot. That's why you recall back what I shared in the early day. We as Kayamita, we are very blessed. Why? Because most of this teaching, people cannot even penetrate the thought-based meditation. They cannot go beyond thought-based. They are actually caught in the field of thought. And everything they do is thought-based. Then how can you realize a Dhamma which is beyond thought, beyond mind? That's why you need sati, awareness. And to understand sati is another complication. So what I have been trying to share with you all is to realize the state of no thought, which is the first hallmark of awakening, and to realize that means to stabilize your inner awareness nature is the first step, which is the most important step. And that one, very few people can even understand, or not to say, realize that. To understand that principle and to try it, also very few. That's why you talk about cultivation. How can they catch up on this? Because to go beyond thought is very difficult for them. Very, very difficult. And most of the teacher or the guide, they don't have that understanding. Even for my nature with the understanding, trying to teach this is so difficult. It took me so long. Then later on, after you even penetrate the no thought, means the pure awareness, then you develop the daily mindfulness. Then you go through the sainthood way. After you penetrate the sainthood way, of course, you can realize the first stage of sainthood, second stage of sainthood, third stage of sainthood, then fourth stage of sainthood, the arahantaship. But beyond that, to go the bodhisattva way, that one also not easy. But there are many who go that way. But to progress from there is not easy, especially to locate the gateway. And if you are able to locate the gateway and have the causes and conditions to understand the bodhisattva way and really go all the way, that itself is already very extraordinary and beautiful. But to really do the gateway type of cultivation trust, very few people understand. And very few people can progress beyond that. Then to illuminate that nature and to go on transforming, take very long. Then like my last guy used to share with me, I remember the first time he activated my nature, and I was able to do it. He was so happy. Then he used to talk to me. He said, do you know, for any cultivator to reach this point, the gateway to go in, they are at least, he used the word at least, 80 years old to realize that, to come to that point. 80, how long can you live after that to cultivate and to practice? Even you live until 100, it's only 20 years. And there is so much thing about that gateway cultivation that normal people cannot understand, cannot know. That's why this way of cultivation and understanding is not easy if you don't have the understanding and the proper teacher and guide. Unless you have your path. Then we are lucky because we are within the Sakyamuni Buddha Sasana. That's why all these are possible and it can manifest. Okay, sorry, I got to pass back to you, Poh Cheng, otherwise you don't have enough time. So don't worry about the postponement. Go ahead and just let things be.
Yeah, Brother Teo, we are very blessed to have Brother Teo help us, guide us along the way in our cultivation. So coming back to this, right? So I want to reschedule it because I cannot cancel it because I already so-called using the government fund, So I cannot like
no problem.
cancel it in that case.
Just reschedule it.
The thing I want to share with Brother Teo is because you see there's this thing that I observe my brain, right? I also cannot fully describe it because of this using of the thought, right? The perceiving and thinking, right? So the lack of energy, it want to shut down, Brother Teo.
So that will happen. Yes, it keep on wanting to shut down. Because the time has come for you to see the very fine dukkha, suffering. Then after that, the understanding from your nature will manifest. Then you will have the understanding. Actually, sankhara anicca, sankhara dukkha. Then Dhamma anatta, anatta tito. No reality. Then you will finally reach a realization that brain is not for you to think on. The brain is actually knowledge. Knowledge that accumulate through memory, through the thought process, through the senses and all those things. That's why it's a tool for us to live life. So it's not something for us to create the suffering and the manifestation of dukkha within that mind. So it will go through the phase like it wants you to shut down. Shut down means complete cessation of form of mind. It will happen. How long depends on the individual. So by the time you reach here, you have gone through the momentary cessation all gone already. Then for you to detect the gateway to go through this process, that is how you progress and reach this stage. And after this stage, you will have to go through a few months, if I'm not wrong, but depend on your individual nature. Sometimes it may take longer. For me, it's about 9 months, I remember. Then after that, my mundane mind collapsed. Then there is like a layer of consciousness on the brain here down. Then when the thing drop over, the whole mind become different now. I got no mind inside there now. Well, everything inside is so fine. Like no mind. Then my nature tell me, no mind, then how do you know things? How do you live? Means these are non-grasping aggregate, supramundane mind, it's not the mundane mind anymore. That supramundane mind is from your nature, it arises. And I have to learn to use it, And I can tell you, I remember that time in end of 1989, when I was trying to learn how to use it. Wow! I had to start from zero base. How to learn it? Then that time I like, how come not like last time? Last time the Mande Maya, very easy to be mindful, to be aware and to do all those things. This Super Mande Maya, like no mind inside there. You cannot do all those things. But later on, my nature realized, you already in the state of awareness already, 24 hours. Why you want to learn how to do all this? No need to learn. Just stay with it and develop the new understanding and how to really observe what happened inside your brain and all those things. And all this transformation, including the heart area and the whole physical body, everything give rise to understanding. And all this transformation and movement become like very, very beautiful and very meaningful, informative. And it's from all this that the understanding keep on unfolding, the complexity of the human body and mind, and the awareness nature, the nature inside, and how to actually seize it and connect to the source, then come out from it and develop all the understanding. And this movement is really unique and very rare. But don't worry, Poh Cheng, you just remember that statement that I shared. Whatever happened is part of the way. Remember the word, part of the way. Okay?
Yes, Brother Teo. I think just now Brother Teo shared was very good for me, because with your so-called expanded sharing, right? I understood exactly what I need to do, Brother Teo. So because of what I experienced, right? So I want to tap on Brother Teo's past experience, what you went through. Then from listening to what Brother Teo said, I understood and know what to do for my case, when I have those experiences. I know how to, how should I say it? How to
You know how to manage it from now on.
Yes. I know how to negotiate. I mean, how to
Negotiate
navigate.
the training,
Navigate.
the cultivation.
Yes. Yeah, because when I was in the training, right, my brain keep wanting to shut down.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
And you feel the suffering. Like a
Yes,
lot of things you know inside cannot do already. It's like telling you want to suffer, you can do lah.
yes. So that's what I felt. And then at the end of the day, my brain really totally
like
cannot.
lock up like that, jam.
Jam, cannot do anything. I thought
You sometimes you can't even think. It's like want to shut down.
correct.
Shut down.
Correct. So I have
Today lucky, your sister Han Mo Cheng is here, so he listened to you. That is a real good one. He only managed to recover from the leg and come back today. That's why the timing. The timing is very good.
Yes, I rejoice. Yes, thank you for telling me that, Brother, because I know that she hasn't been attending, so I asked her a few times when is she going back to Brother's class.
Don't worry. She developed the faith accordingly. The timing is based on her condition. Like she said, the leg actually troubled her almost 6 months. But I say it's normal. Body is just a body. It goes the way of nature. That's why we have to confront whatever that manifests. Sometimes it's karmic conditioning, karmic debt, karmic what we call manifestation. So we have to have the understanding to come to terms with all this reality, where this physical body, form and mind goes the way of nature. It's not you. It is with the universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. And it make out of the 4 elements only. It cannot be you. And consciousness also same. Come and go, arise and pass away. You never die. So how can it be you? So it's condition arising entity, dependent originating entity. Manifesting its causes and condition to animate it into a human being. And all this understanding will become very clear to you, and it become very beautiful. That's why the teaching, the essential Dhamma of the Buddha is so beautiful, so wonderful. Very good. Yeah, Poh Cheng. With this, I think it can help you a lot.
Yes, Brother Teoh, your sharing really helped me a lot. That's why I want to ask your advisor to clarify what
Yeah.
went through, so I can get a lot of guidance from Brother Teoh also, so that my path will not be so difficult. Let's put this not so difficult. Yeah, otherwise I have to try
You
out
have to find
myself.
out yourself. That one is the more
Yes, it will take
difficult part.
longer time for me as well. Yeah,
Mm.
since we have a good teacher, wise teacher, I can consult, So I say, why not I bring this up, because
Yeah.
it really,
It's
I
meant
mean, I
to
missed
be.
it the last session, you see, because
Yeah.
I forgot to say this, Yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank
why
you,
tonight
Bharatiya.
you continue with your sharing. That one actually is meant to be. That's why all the answer that is needed, the sharing that is needed, by nature share, and it will help you. And
Yes,
also,
thank you, Bharatiya. Yeah, after
other
hearing
kayamitas.
it's very comforting, and I know what to do and how to navigate, my
Yeah.
experiences
But this
on,
part I have to clarify. Well, this is very important. Well, a lot of people, you don't clarify, they listen, they develop fear one. You meditate already transform, already become like that one. I don't want. Then they dare not do. Because this is something that normal being cannot understand one. But these are the truth, the process that people go through. That's why not only I was able to do it. Now it reached your turn. Poh Cheng is experience all this. Understand? And that is what the human brain is all about. And it need to go through all this transformation for you to evolve and become different and more beautiful in that sense, based on the understanding that is being developed. Very good. Poh Cheng, you summarize because the bell already went off 10:30 on.
Yeah, Mahasadu, Bharatiya, for your
Mahasadu.
generous sharing, so
Yeah.
that we can also walk the noble way, how you say, peacefully and smoothly as well. Okay, thank you,
Sadhu.
Bharatiya.
Thank you.
Bharatiya, sorry,
Let
I
us
couldn't finish.
rejoice. Uh,
I couldn't finish
Sadhu,
the
sadhu. Okay, we will share merits, transfer merit, then we end. Akasata Chebumata Deva Naga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Ita Wata Chamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang Menya Tinang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Devo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha fito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu damiko. Imina punyang kamena Vame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu Yawa nivana patiya Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the when he wants. Then we end. Sadhu.